spring or month. So anything that opens a storm drain, like water all over there.
I dodge it in my truck all over there, every day.
Down on South Main, in the winter time, there'll be steam coming up through the storm circuit. There'll be steam coming up, when it's really, really cold, it gets got really cold. So that's where all of our leaks are coming from. They fight leaks all the time. We got leaks everywhere. And it's hard, but that's the frustration of knowing they're there and we can't find them. So that, doing the main streets will alleviate a lot of that loss. And IDOT will be able to come in and fix our streets, and we won't, fix them,
Absolutely.
tear them up, so.
So, being mindful of time, we have about 15 minutes. If there's any questions from the public like to ask a question, just come to the podium. Try to keep it at 5 minutes to make sure there's time for anybody else. Any question or feedback?
Can I have a couple minutes?
Sure.
So, obviously all you folks at the table are the ones that have to make the decision on this, and I just wanted to voice my opinion that we all know this has been a problem for ever, as far as I know, and we can't just keep kicking the can down the road. And ultimately, I don't know one person in the world that likes higher taxes. You hear that word, you're like, oh my God, they're raising taxes, oh my God, they're raising taxes. But when we're talking about a 1% sales tax, that's literally a penny. You know how many pennies you see just laying on the ground that people just walk by and don't even think about? Where you're at the cash register and you get your change and you throw pennies in there, I ain't worried about those. But when we look at what all those pennies added together with this new sales tax can do to fix these problems that we have, it's huge. And, I work with a lot of you guys in Sea Rayleigh. I don't know where you all stand, but I just kind of wanted to put my 2 cents in there that I think this is a no-brainer, and there's so many valid reasons that Corey, you just named a bunch, and with the safety with Shane and his guys, I mean, it's insane. We have to worry about picking up a fire truck and hoping there's water to come out. That's, we're better than that. We should be able to not have to worry about those kind of things. I mean, pretty much all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
This thing's facing the wrong way.
We only did it so the camera can see you too.
I was trying to do a quick search there on sales tax, so we're gonna be basically like what Marion has and Mount Vernon has. I know West Frankfurt's will be less. So is it advisable that we be matching Mount Vernon and Marion on sales tax?
Does that also include what would eventually fall off with the county courthouse? Does that take the county courthouse to sunset into
Well,
account?
the county courthouse is not gonna be completely gone. That 1%, they've got too much of a shortfall in there. Realistically, it needs to go on the next ballot to where they can keep a portion of that just to be able to keep things going, that new courthouse. So that's not gonna be a total drop off.
If they choose to do that. We have a representative in the room, that's if they choose to do that.
Sure.
The plan is not to do that. Officially, in fact, that's the first I've heard of that.
Well, I've listened to them over the course, ever since we proposed this project at the courthouse. And after it came about, then they realized they were starting to run a shortfall on a lot of different areas. And what I understand, about an extra $500,000 a year, which would be 1/4% right there just to break even all the time.
I can tell you this, when the courthouse is paid off, the 1% goes away. If they want to keep a portion of 1% on for operating expenditures, then that would have to be passed by the board, but I haven't heard anything on that.
Well, actually, it had to be passed by the voters.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, because that was a referendum.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right on that, but, that's not something the board can automatically do, keep part of that 1% coming in.
Well, I just wanted to know if these guys were aware that 1% is just not totally going away, because you guys are going to be in a bind. I do understand that. And I know they're in a bind, but there's gonna have to be a happy balance, because if you have the same sales tax as other places, or they got less, like West Frankfurt's is gonna be a little bit less, and you shift your people going elsewhere, then sales revenue drops. So, I'm just wanting to know if it's prudent to go a full 1% on the issue.
I think it's more appropriate to go to the one instead of starting small and continuing to come back and ask. The banks or the EPA, whomever we secure loan funding from for these projects as we go, are gonna want to see a steady income stream. That way, it's gonna give us the most competitive interest rate. I had an example last night on the financing of West Main. If we were to finance it for 15 years, because we don't wanna take all of our money and throw it at one project, because then we can't do multiple projects as we need to do them. Say we did it across 15 years, it's a hypothetical. At 7.5%, we pay roughly $3 million in interest. At 5.5%, we pay roughly $2.1 million in interest. We save nearly $1 million in interest by having 200 basis points back to us. The county sales tax will fall off. That current sales tax will fall off upon the payoff of the courthouse. Now, if they choose to take it back to the voters, they can choose to take it back to the voters, but they can't reinstall that tax without it going back to the voters.
And that brings me to just a quick question for you guys. If you have good arguments for the money, if you got a good argument for the money, why don't you put that before the voters of Benton and let them say yea or nay? And if they do, then you guys' heads are always on the chopping block because of the voters.
We're home rule. This
That
community's home rule.
wasn't the question.
No, I know it wasn't
That's
the
like
question.
me coming here today, I said, whatever I said would make absolutely no difference. You guys can do what you want. That ain't what I said. I asked you if you had a good purpose for the money, good argument and everything, why don't you just put it to the voters and let them okay it themselves?
I don't think we're in the position for the time as well. I think it's been kicked down the road so long that we are up against the wall on this.
The voters elected us to make some tough decisions.
That is not what I brought up.
Well, the bottom line is, sometimes in this position, you don't like to do what we do, but sometimes we have to look out what's best for the city of Benton. And we're looking out for all the citizens of Benton, not.
So you do not trust the voters to vote for it?
I didn't say that. Just saying when you-
Actually, that's what you did say, boy.
I believe you're putting words in his mouth on that one, Tom. I don't think that's a fair statement to put back on Commissioner Cox.
Well, I don't know.
The voters
Anybody
put
watching it,
the five of us at
say
the
that's
table.
a fair statement.
The voters put the five of us at the table. I think when everybody ran, they understood there's not going to be, it's not gonna be all, sunshine and lollipops when we do things. It's just not how it goes. That's government for you. The issue is, we have critical infrastructure that needs addressed. This is the
One other
most,
thing, will part of the money being borrowed or used end up, with a new city hall?
no,
God, no.
That has no intention for that.
No.
absolutely not.
What you guys gotta understand too is we're not only talking water. That's just the first part.
Yes.
Our sewer is way older than half this water line.
Yeah.
You know that for a fact, how bad it's.
See, like I said, I'm not
So once we get
questioning
to
the
water, we
money,
still gotta look at
and I'm
sewer.
not questioning the
No,
project.
no, I know.
I'm
But these guys
just
don't-
asking if, you have the same sales tax that's in like Mount Vernon and Marion. Could that be a hindrance to people staying and buying right here all the time?
Well, they're not, if we have the same sales tax, they're sure as hell not gonna go to Marion or Mount Vernon to buy this exact same thing. If it's the same sales tax, I mean, look at Marion's budget. The vast majority of Marion's operations are funded through sales tax. Either the 2.25 they have on the books in home rule sales tax, or if you shop in anything in the Starbond district, you're paying 3.25.
Well,
Because
West
all of-
Frankfurt's is 0.25% less than ours.
I don't know what Frankfurt's infrastructure looks like. I don't know what their city operations look like.
West Frankfurt, many years ago, and I couldn't tell you, had the foresight to replace their aging water system. They sure did.
So, which means they're not gonna be
I can't
facing the
remember
projects
year,
that
but
they
it might be at least 25, 30 years ago.
1989.
Okay, there you go. They had,
6 years
they
ago.
had the foresight to say, we need to do this. I don't know, I'm sure they got a long-term loan, EPA, whatever, but they replaced their aging system. They did. I remember that, I remember who did it, the contractor, there was, but,
Environmental Management Corporation.
but we, the smaller communities I've worked with, say Christopher, they managed to get I worked in, was involved in replacing their entire water system, except for a few subdivisions that was put in later, they're plastic. They got 7 grants. Perfect. Bigger communities, it's been hard, because you know, smaller communities. Heron, it's the same thing, Heron never did get, we've done a lot, but those areas we couldn't get to, bigger community. I did all of Royalton, you know, I did all of Cole, smaller communities, we did them. Christopher, go talk to those folks and see how much water loss they have, see how many water breaks they have, see how many clamps they have, they don't own it. They got their system replaced back when things were cheaper, got it in, it's done.
Just to be mindful of the time, we have like 5 to 7 minutes left.
Okay.
I'm not trying to shut you down, but I wanna make sure everybody has an
It's
opportunity.
okay, like I said, I'll just
Good questions, and
make a
it's,
question,
Yes.
and like I said, to me, the voters should have a chance to vote on it. And I'm not questioning the reason for the money or the project.
your questions processed.
Anyway, somebody else?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we got about 5, 7 minutes before we need to take a break, before we go to our 5 o'clock meeting, so.
I don't know if anybody knows about a USDA loan, if your Rodney knows about those, you know, back earlier got serious with it, really, 1% USDA loan, put serious in. Waynesboro, they got a water tower loan, 0.75%, something to look at here too. Don't forget, it's got a TIF district here. That goes down here, we've got 2 blocks west, that goes all the way to the railroad tracks east. And your TIF funds to use for that certain portion, because that's infrastructure in their TIF funds, so you need to consider that. Because you can save some money borrowing, I don't know how much you got in TIF, 2, 3, 400,000?
Did we not use some of the TIF money on the grant on East Main? Did we tap into that at all? I think we did. I think we did use TIF money on that grant to offset the difference on East Main.
We use it for you the water tower too.
Yeah. I mean, it has been used.
Yeah, and Mr. Garavaglia, like, the lending options, we're not just gonna go to the first place we can try to get money. I mean, we're going to shop this, and our hope is that we can get something through the USDA or the EPA where it's a considerably minute interest rate, but the fact of the matter still remains that we have to pay that money back.
Absolutely.
The nice thing would be if we could secure a USDA or EPA loan
Yes.
where 5 years into the repayment of it, they come back and say, we're going to forgive X amount. Because that essentially becomes a grant with the sewer plant.
So,
So,
we give us free money.
yeah, I mean, so the plan is absolutely to shop those as we do them. And it's not gonna be, we're not gonna go borrow one basket of money for projects. We're gonna borrow for the projects as we go, because we can't, I mean, we can forecast what it's gonna cost us to do South Main, but if it's 3.5 to 4 years before we break ground, prices are gonna change considerably. No contractor's gonna sign that as we're waiting. So that's our plan, is to be mindful. I'm hoping that our interest rates are substantially lower than what the scenario was last time. I was just using common interest rates, but the one thing that banks definitely do look for if we can't secure funding, from the EPA or the USDA, is our ability to pay it back. And we're gonna get a super competitive interest rate if we've got,
Because we have a stream of revenue.
we have a
coming in.
stream of revenue dedicated directly towards those projects, so.
Another thing I'd like to mention is maybe Ace Hardware might not be considered in the Drill King now. A little tractor might not be considered in the H&R. I can't believe we didn't have more merchants showing up at this time. I guess they don't know about it or they don't care. Next part, little tractor, if they're charging an extra municipal tax, 1.5, 1.25, whatever it is, so another one. That $30,000 tractor is not only gonna be $450 to start with, it's gonna be another $300 more.
But with this tax, that tractor would not be taxed. It's a titled vehicle.
A
It's not a title
No,
feeder.
sir. No, it's a UCC.
The trailer that it's on is.
Yeah, well, they're selling all their trailers out here too, they're almost gone now, you know. Tractor's not, a boat's
My
not,
apologies.
certificate of title, that's for a boat, I guess you could call that. The title, there's no titles on that, UCC on the loan. Anyway, that thing's going, and then you got Ace out here, you know, real pain, it's gonna be much lower tax wise and everything, so we don't have to go to Marion or Mount Vernon to pay taxes. We can shoot over here to West City. And I don't know, it's great whenever you get off an interstate, whenever you're in a foreign land, but how many times do you get off the interstate and you go to places that you know, like McDonald's, Walmart, Rural King, I mean, you always take a right, you take a left. Seems like people getting off the interstate, they see McDonald's, Rural King, Burger King, they're gonna be turning off over there anyway. Those, you're gonna lose money from them people not coming in town. But that's neither here nor there. I'm convinced you guys are gonna pass this. I have no doubt in my mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanna say that I think that our small town, our small city is unique in that when you compare it to other municipalities our size, they also have the revenue that comes from the places that are out in West City.
To his point that he just said,
Yes.
exactly.
I mean, automatically, they, you know, that's a source of revenue that our city doesn't have because of decisions made many, many years ago.
Or a Mount Vernon that has a Continental Tire, and it has a Walgreens distribution
Exactly.
center, and you have an ICE in Marion, like you start, that's just dollars that come in, it's not free money, but it's significant money that
Exactly.
gives you more bandwidth to do those kinds of
Exactly,
things.
but I'm just talking about communities, municipalities that's our size.
Mhm.
Most of them have a revenue source, just from retail, more than what our city does. Because, you know, we have most of the population and not the same amount, definitely not what our population needs as consumers.
The sales tax
When
base.
yeah, so, anyway, I don't want to see any of our businesses hurt through this, but I believe that our people will still be loyal to our businesses here, because our businesses support so much in this town, and we need to still remain loyal. And the few cents that you might save going to Walmart versus going to Save-A-Lot, you're gonna spend that in gas, you know? And also, when you think back on when we were elected, well, one of the things that people were concerned about, mostly, number one thing was infrastructure. You're gonna do something with infrastructure. Well, now, our hands being forced, we're going to have to do something with infrastructure. And if we don't, shame on us.
Well, we're just about to wrap up. Anything else from the general public before we bring this hearing to a close?
Just real quick before we close, I know we want to get close and get to our.
Yeah, I just wanna make room to take a break and come back. You're fine.
Rodney, just give us a quick rundown as to how we compare to what else you're seeing and some of, I guess, you're a civil engineer. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
You're saying
what the
compare
license says.
maybe to other municipalities similar size and some things they're seeing?
Let me just put it to you this way, you guys are not facing anything that other towns are not facing as well. They don't have the monies in order to be able to pay for the improvements that they're needing to do. Their infrastructure is as old, if not some that are as old as what we have here in Benton. As Coy has indicated, you know, in the projects that he's done here in Benton, over the years prior, you've been able to obtain grants and be able to do that work. Those days have come to a close. You're no longer gonna be able to get those grants as easy. It's a scenario where basically if you need something, you're gonna have to pay for it. You're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna be able to do that. You know, I've told this story to Craig, just to give you an idea. City of Carterville is getting ready to build a new sewage treatment plant. Brand new, just like what you guys did out here from that standpoint. You did your plant 5-6 years ago. Holy cow, I'm getting old. 7 years ago, 7 years ago. And your finished product for the town of Benton was $15,000.
15 million.
15, yeah. 15
I
million.
wish. Let's build a second one.
It's been a rough day.
You can tell.
15, my numbers are a little low. $15 million, and then you were able to receive a forgiveness on that right there, and you received 45% forgiveness, so kudos to the city of Benton there. Carterville just recently bid their project. Their population 5,500, something of that nature. They've gone through the process of COVID, and they've gone through the process of what is referred to as BABA, Build American, Buy American. Okay? Their new sewage treatment plant was estimated in order to be $30 million. Came in at $43 million. And that was just simply as a resulting of COVID. That was $3 million in BABA compliance. It was $7 million. There's $10 million. And basically what it comes down to is that your price tags are gonna continue to increase as the time goes on. I understand it's a big lump of money in order to try to do that, but in order for you to have businesses to continue to come in, Benton to continue to grow, you're going to have an infrastructure that supports that. That's one of the things that Carterville has come to the understanding that they're going to have to do. And so they have entered into a loan with EPA, it's the SRF, the old revolving loan fund, which is the same program that you use for your sewer plant here. And the thing of it is that you were able to receive 45% forgiveness on 15 million. They're only gonna get 30% on 44 million.
Did they raise their sewer rates?
Yes, they raised their sewer rates. Their sewer rates were set up right at $30 a month. Their sewer bill only, just sewer, is going to $73 a month.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, not including water.
But not including water.
That's like our project at the high school we're doing right now. We originally started working on that, trying to get that grant 8 years ago. We've applied for it twice and got turned down twice, finally got it this time. When we originally applied for that grant, that bid was $630,000 to do that project. Our job, as of today, is $1.2 million. That's the price it was from into that. Exact same price.
We're about to approve a $500,000 pay estimate, which is almost the cost of the original project. Just for the sake of time, I know we have other folks coming in. We make a motion to adjourn from the hearing, or just close the hearing. Sorry. Make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. We'll take a couple quick minute breaks so the folks can come in, and those that would like to go, you're more than welcome to, and then we'll come back and we'll.
And we will still have public comment during the.
And, yes, exactly. We'll go to the action issue during that.
Yes.
How you doing, Grandpa?
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, there you are.
I don't feel that old, but
Yeah.
actually is that day.
Well, yeah, on some days.
Appropriate for a guy to say that.
I'm good, I'm good.
I
It's,
bet.
All the dairy yellow.
Is he, how old is he here?
to 29th of June, so we're,
Oh, wow. Won't be long. We'll be
yeah.
fine.
No, I'm sorry, May, 29th May.
May?
Yeah, so we're.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah, we're probably about 6-7 weeks now.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen my son lately?
I have not. I kind of keep up with him a little on Facebook
Well,
and
you know, he's had a heck of a time.
a rough go, hadn't he?
Yeah, they, detached his ureter.
Yeah, that's what I did. Maybe one, the first surgery didn't go right or something.
Yeah. He's had 4 since.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll get his stent out the 22nd. They've reattached it, so.
Good.
Yeah, he started back physical therapy, so.
He's ready to be done.
He's ready to either go back to work or tell him you're never going back to work or whatever. I don't think so.
Well, we're all at that age where things are starting to fall apart and we find out where all the weak links are at.
Well, but this was his first ever surgery.
Yeah, well,
He won't ever have another one.
he made it a good while, but let's hope this isn't,
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
yeah, you move up here and all.
You guys,
Like that. You just graduated last year.
I don't think.
Was that right? Yeah, okay. Cool. Good deal.
It was her husband's baby.
Yeah, okay.
They were taking him away from her.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great opportunity
And,
for both.
yeah, he's two. And then they got pregnant, so they had 9 months apart.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we
No hill for
adopted them.
climbers, they can do it.
That's right.
How are you? Good. I'm doing really good. Good to see you. Just recycling, just kind of give a speech on what we've accomplished. Say thanks. Lee says it here in like a couple weeks I should be getting it, so I'm trying to say thanks for that. So I'm just here to. Oh, and by the way, everybody's so helpful. So helpful. Yeah, it's exciting. So we had a pickup today. We got it all cleaned up. So that's really cool. I thought that happened for the last 45 years. Well, thank you for saying that. That's the thing. I've went to other places. I've went to other places, and that's what I see. I see little pieces. And, so I try to start around. Thank you. I'm glad it's noted. Thank you for you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.